Attention Earthlings, do not attempt to adjust your dial.
You are about to voyage into the marvelously mystifying.
Join us as we navigate the enigmatic waters of consciousness, delve into the arcane realms of the occult and the paranormal, and converse with captivating beings from across the universe.
Prepare to expand your mind, challenge your perceptions, and journey into the unknown with your guides, Bunnicula and HP Hovercraft.
The frequencies of strangeness await.
Welcome to Dizzy Spell.
Heyo.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
It's snowing.
Yes, it is snowing. It is cold. It's cold as all hell.
Yep.
I cannot believe that it's snowing.
I know. December hit and it came with a vengeance.
It really came fast. I cannot believe it's December. I can't believe it's snowing. Can't believe it's cold. I can't believe that we're back together as a team.
I know. We took a little break for the holiday. So,
and we'll continue to take breaks, but...
Well, we took an extra week between
Yes.
episodes.
100%.
But the next one should be every 2 weeks again, I think. We'll see.
Oh, as far as airing goes?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry. I was thinking from the Dizzy Spellions mind, But hello, Dizzy Spellions.
Hello.
Glad to be back. I am Bunnicula.
HP Hovercraft reporting.
That's right.
Once again.
And just to be real with our listeners here, let's just get it out of the way.
We're going. This is a quick one.
This is a quick one, which we kind of did a speed run last episode as well. But we got to do what we got to do. Life happens.
Sometimes things are tight.
But what I was going to say is we did have a topic planned for today. Mm-hmm. And we're going to hold on to that topic. We're going to put it in our pocket. Topic in our pocket. Wait for the new year to unveil that topic. Because today, some things took precedence.
Yes. I'm excited to hear about these things.
I texted HP the other day and I said, so I know we kind of had this plan, but luckily HP is a very flexible person and was down with the change of plans because it's part 2 of Alien Half Christmas.
Part 2 of Alien Half Christmas.
That happens around Christmas, yes.
So do I need to hold on to my feelings about the substance?
Oh, no. Let's start there.
Okay. That's because I feel like I like that we're kind of like, I think at least, hopefully for the fellow parents and late moviegoers in our listening audience, I can give them the late reviews of movies when they come out.
Yes.
Right? So it's like, so The Substance came out and it was in theaters. Everybody's talking about it. I couldn't see, I can't get to the theater. Now it's streaming.
Yes.
I've seen it 3 times. So.
Isn't it the best?
But that's what I like about, I hope that we're becoming that for people, because when I see a movie and I kind of want to hear people talk about it, or I want you got to be on top of it. Mm-hmm. But I'm hope that we become that for the adult
I
can't see a movie in the theater audience.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Best movie of the year.
Oh, well, the irony I was going to say is technically that movie came out in 2023.
Right, yeah.
Which is even funnier. But yes, it wasn't
But it's been out for a long time. I obviously loved it.
It makes me sad for Demi Moore that horror movies get such snubs in the awards.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, Demi Moore should win everything.
Yeah, she should, at very least, and I'm still holding out hope.
Me too.
That she might.
Me too. It won the Palme d'Or at Cannes, right? Or it won something.
No,
at
it
Cannes.
didn't.
Best
it didn't win. It won. Yeah, best screenplay.
Something like
correct.
that. Yeah.
Palme d'Or was Nora.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No,
I haven't seen it yet. Okay.
And
I do want to see that.
So Nora's like front runner for best picture.
Okay.
But then also
Wow.
people are starting to say Wicked is
Oh no.
is gonna, but
it better not.
Apparently it's good.
No, I've heard it's amazing, and I really do want to see it. I read the books last year, and the books are awesome. They're very good.
I feel like I'm ready to hate on Wicked, but then I listened to the Broadway
soundtrack,
and I just was flooded with memories of when I used to listen to it a lot. Like I grew
Okay,
up
so
like
you've seen it.
grew up in theater, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
So
like,
I haven't.
and like, yeah, like went and saw it. Like it was all around me like all my life. But I just like haven't, like, that's not my personality. Like that's not what I've like maintained into adulthood.
Yeah.
But then I like heard it again. I was like, wow, this is like straight up amazing.
Oh, I cannot wait to see
So
it.
I hope that it's good. I think the press cycle is like annoying as hell.
100%.
It looks like shit.
Yes.
Like it just looks bad.
Yes.
But apparently it's good, so I don't know, whatever. But substance for best picture, so Demi Moore for best actress.
The effects are incredible.
And also Margaret Qualley is amazing in it. Everybody, and also
I'm in love with her now. Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, there you go.
Fun facts.
Yes.
I saw my grandfather-in-law the other day, and he was just flipping through his photo reel and was like, "Oh yeah, here's my friend Dennis. Him and Dennis Quaid are just friends." I was like, "What?"
The thing that's funny about it being Dennis Quaid is like he has like a such a career that like doesn't lend itself necessarily, like for some people Dennis Quaid is like Parent Trap.
Yep.
You know, like that kind of he's that.
Sure.
So it's funny that it's him just crushing that role.
Oh yeah.
Like he's
Such a
so
sleaze.
disgusting and horrible.
Yes.
But do you know that it was supposed to be Ray Liotta?
Oh, interesting.
And then he died before he could do it.
Oh, he would have been good too.
Isn't that like seem like? But
Yeah.
Dennis Quaid is doing such a good like Ray Liotta send up.
Oh yeah.
I think, in it,
I like that.
which is awesome. I love that it's a perfect like B movie, like exactly like if that same movie existed as like a trauma movie, it would be
Yeah.
the exact same.
Yeah.
But it's just like modernized with a like I don't even know if it's a slightly bigger budget, but like everything about it is like practical effects still and just like really well done.
Yep.
I love the rules
I know.
of the thing.
I know.
Like all the like respect the balance every 7 days, and like she has to feed the little thing. Everything about it is so like it like you just believe it as
It's
like
perfect.
this could exist.
Yeah.
Right. Like it could be done like that. I hope they don't, and I don't think they will. But it is set up in a way that there could be a
Multiples.
dozen of
Oh, yeah.
them. you
Yeah,
know?
kind of like talk to me.
Like talk to me
Yeah.
exactly. Like it's like that could just they could make the Substance 2 and 3 and 4 and whatever. It could keep happening.
I'd watch it.
But yeah, really, really good. I love that it's like existing in like the art house realm and just like getting all this praise, and hopefully it gets like at least if it gets like, I mean, it won the Cannes Screenplay Award. I think that Demi Moore at least deserves a nomination, but like if Toni Collette doesn't get nominated for Hereditary, then there's maybe no way that Demi Moore gets it for this. But the fact that it's a comeback.
But also I feel like The Substance is slightly, even though it's so brutally body horror, it's like a little more accessible than Hereditary.
It sure is, for sure.
So maybe more people would see it, and maybe she stands a slightly better chance. I don't know.
Like looking at the numbers, like Hereditary was obviously a huge hit for A24, and but Neon has a way better. Or it's actually not Neon. Sorry, I totally screwed that up. It's Mubi, which actually lowers the chances for it, I think.
Yeah.
'Cause if it was a bigger studio that picked it up, because like ultimately, I think it was, I can't remember exactly who it was. I want to say it was Warner Brothers, but it's maybe something like that. Like there was some like turmoil in the studio where they didn't want to buy it, or they didn't want to distribute it because they thought it was too like they were like, this is not gonna sell.
Wow.
So Mubi picked it up, and Mubi distributed it, and it ended up being a huge hit for them. And maybe that'll lead to them like doing like a awards push for it. But I don't think they will. I think they're too small to do it. But
I mean, I feel like
who
that's
knows?
how A24 started, though, right?
They did.
And movies like Hereditary really like skyrocketed it to the level of respect it is today. So yeah, I am very curious to see how it goes. Just perfection.
Great movie.
You know, I feel like you and I, we have differing views on
no,
movies
but I like that this one we were like, yep,
yes,
sick.
Like
we
I'm
love
so
it.
glad we both were on the same page with this one, because I would have been devastated emotionally if you were like,
there
that was
no
trash.
way that I was gonna not like it too. Like it's just so.
I never know. I never know.
While I was watching it, I just kept going. I'm just so on board for whatever's going to happen.
I saw it in theaters, and the reactions were amazing in theaters. Like, so many people, the first or that last like act, just like I was laughing till I was crying. And then there are people who looked absolutely horrified, like they did not want to be in the theater. It was just like such a great mix of people who were truly disgusted and like disturbed, and then people who were just like laughing their asses off like I was. It was awesome.
Have you seen the statistic that there's more Margaret Qualley like butt shots in it than Anthony Hopkins is in Silence of the Lambs at all?
I love it.
That's really funny.
I love that so much.
Because like he's famously the least amount of screen time for I believe he's best actor. It's not supporting, but I think that it's like he has like 11 minutes of screen time.
Well, let's be real. Margaret Qualley's butt is the villain in this movie. Oh, just perfection. I could go on, but
we'll do one day. That will be like we'll just do a live watch of it.
That sounds so fun. I just wanted to say one more thing about Wicked. So the thing that made me think, okay, this movie might actually be really good, this is before the insufferable news cycle that's been happening for the past few months, is reading that they, recorded all of the vocals live, which I thought was really amazing.
You got to do that. That's what you have to do.
They like never do that though. And so like that's really cool. And I think that for me, it reminds me of how locked in and amazing Rocky Horror was, because those people had been doing that play of Rocky Horror for years and had it so down before they did the movie that it was like perfection. And so I think that's why Wicked's going to be so good. That's my theory.
One of the most famous musicals of all time. Don't know why I can't remember it. Hugh Jackman is in it. It's from maybe like 5 years ago. Maybe like 10 years ago. It's like the most
Showman on Earth.
No.
Is that a musical?
It's like the most famous musical.
West Side Story.
No, it's a foreign one.
Les Miserables.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, that was that movie. They did all the things live too.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's like it's not super common, but it has been done, and when it happens, it's like so much better.
Okay.
Like you can tell. So
wait.
that is cool. I didn't know that.
Here's my
It just looks bad. It just visually looks bad. And I understand that like when you're watching a condensed trailer of a thing on your phone, it like looks worse. But it just looks bad.
Here's my other thing is like, to me, theater girlies are similar to Swifties, and all the Swifties went to that tour video movie they did and were like singing through the entire thing. And if I go to Wicked and there are people singing that are not in the movie, I'm going to commit mass violence. So I feel like I can't go see it in a theater because unless I go to like a matinee.
Is that happening?
It's definitely happening.
Yeah. Also, isn't it like 3 hours?
And it's part one.
See, I don't think that it needed to be 2 movies.
It is a lot of book, so I get it. But yeah, I do hate this like trend.
Just make it
like,
4 hours. Just make a 4-hour movie. Come on, like let's as a society be cool with going to a 4-hour movie.
Ooh, okay. I'm
That's
into
my
that.
That's my new thing. Like, how long was the most recent Scorsese movie?
No idea. No one saw it.
It was like 3.5 hours.
Did you see it?
Lots of people saw it.
No one saw it. It was a flop.
Yeah, I watched it.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was great.
You liked it?
All
right.
Whatever. Let's move on.
Okay. So before we get into the meat of this episode, I have to give us a dizzy question.
Time for direct queries.
Okay.
DQ.
We got a DQ. We got a direct query from a listener. I say that with quotes, a listener, because it's a mystery who sent this. Have you ever had a dream featuring an alien or a cryptid like Bigfoot?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Man.
Tell the listeners about it.
I can't. I'd have to go into my
to divulge.
Yeah, it's too spicy. Nobody wants to know. It's for me, for my knowledge only.
Do you have a dream journal?
I don't necessarily have a dream journal, but I do have a lot of extremely mundane dreams that I tell to someone, whether or not it's my wife or I text somebody that might be in it.
Okay.
Or I tell people about the dreams that they're in, and it does help me remember them.
Okay, yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
I obviously can't directly communicate with Bigfoot, so whatever dreams I may have had about them
can't text them.
Are lost.
That's fair. Yeah.
But they do happen. I can't tell you the direct details of them.
Okay. I've had dreams about like alien invasions, but I don't feel like they were depicting the actual physical beings. It was more just like crafts in the sky or like the government trying to like come in and like fight them or things like that. I don't feel like I've really ever seen a cryptid or an extraterrestrial in the flesh in my dreams that I can remember.
Like my dreams are a lot more like, I was at this party with a bunch of my friends that also have children, and one of their kids kept trying to eat all these raw eggs, and I was like, eat the eggs, and then the other parents were like, no, don't eat the eggs, and I was like, eat the eggs, guys.
So I already was telling our producer Michael about this before you got here, but I had a stress dream about our podcast last night.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, the podcast was not stressing me out. I think I have other work-related stresses that are manifesting as dreams for me lately. I've had stress dreams about a lot of weird scenarios lately. And I'm not really the type to get stress dreams, but I dreamt that we were here in the studio. Michael couldn't be here, but he had like hired someone to do our production for the day. And there were like 10 other people here and they wouldn't shut up while we were trying to record. And it was absolutely driving me crazy until finally I looked at you and was like, do you just want to record this later? And you were like, yeah, cool. And I was like, awesome. And then the dream ended.
Great. I have stress dreams like that, but I haven't been a server for like 8 years.
Oh, I still get
but
them.
I haven't in a while. But I used to like the like basis of the dream would be like I would have a full section.
Oh, totally.
And I would be taking their orders, and then I'd go, okay, I'm gonna go ring them in, and then between me and the station to go ring them in, I would have to like walk across an ocean.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like it would be
wow.
like, I'm walking in the sand and there's like waves, and it's taking me forever to like
that's
walk
interesting.
to the station to put the orders in. Like that would that's one that I definitely have had. Or the other one is another common thing that happens is I am doing that and then leave for an extended period, and like I'm driving around or something. I go, I got to go back to take the table's orders. They've been sitting there for so long without the drinks.
I love it. Okay, well.
Sorry to not answer the question at all.
No, I think that was kind of an answer. Kind of. I mean, once you get Bigfoot's phone number, then you'll be able to like track
Bigfoot text me. Better. I've had lots of dreams about you, I'm sure. And I'll let you know so that we can remember them as a team.
I love that. Wow, that's great. So Bigfoot, give us an email at info@dizzyspell.show and give your phone number to HP Hovercraft. If we could just get a
listener to start posing as Bigfoot to email us directly, that would be it'd be mission accomplished.
Basically, we would have made it by that point. All right, so I'm just going to move right into the meat of the show. You may remember, Dizzy Spellian listeners, last week we had Alien Half Christmas. Oops, all aliens. And I guess this is Oops, All Aliens Part 2.
Wow.
I couldn't help it, y'all. There's just like so much going on. I have this habit where when I'm like looking through Reddit and I see an interesting thing about alien news or whatever, I will save it. And over the past like 3 weeks since the last time we recorded, I have saved so many stories.
It just keeps coming.
And, you know, I at the time didn't even realize when we were talking on the last episode that the congressional hearing was happening the day our episode dropped, which is just interesting timing. So obviously, we knew that we had to circle back to those congressional hearings and talk about those. So I'll start there. And can I just go ahead and say, thinking about it, like, just bear this in mind as we go through all of this. All of the people who are involved in these congressional hearings and are like pounding the table for disclosure are like the worst human beings. Nancy Mace and Representative Ogles from Tennessee and just like all the Republicans, and I guess it's because the Democrats have like more important things to be worrying about in some ways.
No, that's not why.
I don't get it. I don't understand it, but I like hate that it makes me like kind of like Nancy Mace a little because she's the one who's like pushing for all of this, and I like hate myself for it. So I just wanted to put that out there. So U.S. government employees apparently have been injured by UFOs. This has come out in the congressional hearing, and the U.S. government has confirmed to conduct a secret UFO retrieval program. This was revealed in this congressional hearing that happened on November 13th. That came more than a year after the Pentagon was accused of running a secret UFO retrieval program by the whistleblower David Grush, which collected and attempted to reverse engineer crashed UAPs. So Nancy Mace, who is the chair of this hearing, questioned Louis Elizondo, who we have talked about so many times on the show, a former Department of Defense official who this year claimed in a memoir that the U.S. was in possession of advanced technology made off-world by non-human intelligence. So Nancy Mace asked him, has the government conducted secret UAP crash retrieval programs, yes or no? And Louis Elizondo, who was speaking under oath, said yes.
Ooh.
Were they designed to identify and reverse engineer alien craft? Yes or no? Elizondo, yes. Nancy Mace continued, in your book, you mentioned government employees who have been injured by UAPs placed on leave and receiving government compensation for their injuries. Is that correct? Elizondo said it was correct.
Ooh.
Very interesting stuff to chew on here. So Michael Schellenberger is a journalist and the founder of the news site Public, and he has reported that the Pentagon has this secret UFO retrieval program and that it is called Immaculate Constellation.
That's a good name.
Isn't it a good name? Schellenberger claimed that current or former government officials had told him that the program had maybe thousands of pieces of evidence showing UAPs. He then shared a 12-page report that you can find. It's on Representative Nancy Mace's website at mace.house.gov. And he said that this 12-page report was written by a whistleblower. So according to The Guardian, a statement from a Pentagon spokesperson said the department has, quote, not found any verifiable evidence that any UAP observation represented extraterrestrial activity, nor has the department discovered any verifiable information to substantiate claims that any programs regarding the possession or reverse engineering of extraterrestrial materials have existed in the past or exist currently. Typical Pentagon, am I right?
Yeah.
So I just thought this was all very interesting. I could go on and on about this report. They talk about how these craft are using clouds to conceal themselves. They get into the jellyfish.
It's like, nope.
It is like nope, totally. Have you seen any of these like jellyfish craft yet?
No, just like Nope. Nope is a documentary.
Yeah, true. The jellyfish craft, which we never have talked about, but like over the past year have become like such a big part of the conversation. I feel like we've never talked about it on our show. I mean, but I thought this was all very interesting. So the next thing I want to talk about, this is actually a video from like a podcast, I think it was called like Total Disclosure. Okay. So this is Captain Robert Salas talking to Nancy Mace, the Congresswoman, about something called the Bob Jacobs case. Okay. So we're just gonna listen to this really quick.
Okay.
Robert Jacobs, I don't know if you're familiar with that story. He was stationed at Vandenberg Air Force Base with a very advanced camera, camera, and he shot a video of a test flight of a dummy warhead. It was on Atlas missile in the Pacific Test Range. And so the dummy warhead leaves the final stage and is flying towards its so-called target in the test area. And the UFO comes over and fires.
Stop saying
like really at this dummy warhead. In fact, it flew a circle around this warhead that was going about.
He got video of this.
He's got video of it.
Really?
It was
Is it public?
It was confiscated by the CIA. But this is actual video.
yes.
And his commander saw it. They both saw it together in front of these members of the CIA. Right after that, they took the film. And who knows where it is.
Well, they also told him this never happened. You will never speak to this. So.
Did he sign a document? Was he forced to sign a document?
No, he did not sign a document.
And he's come forward. What are the affidavits you have?
He's available, by the way, to be a witness.
Okay.
So I wanted you to know
It's just
that
crazy
I
how,
have
like-
spoken to Errol. I have also
Was left it out of the report. Is anyone surprised here? The federal government, it never ceases to amaze me what they do.
Yeah,
the disinformation, the propaganda, the misinformation. Just
All right,
Yeah.
Nancy. So
No, but that's that's the conservative edge.
sure, exactly.
Right? Where
Yep. Yeah. So just to summarize what they're saying there, this is a military captain confirming that a UFO destroyed a missile at the Vandenberg Air Force Base.
Ooh.
Okay. So at the height of the Cold
got
War,
it on video.
they got it on video, and the CIA confiscated that video immediately and didn't have them sign any sort of documents because that would have made a paper trail, right? So at the height of the Cold War, that same guy, U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Salas, was 26 years old, and he was underground while overseeing the Malmstrom Air Force Base's nuclear-equipped intercontinental ballistic missiles, also known as ICBMs, in Montana. That same guy claimed, an eerie red glowing UFO over the base's front gate temporarily disabled 10 ICBMs on the night of March 24th, 1967. He said, they knew exactly how our systems worked. Exactly. He said he was grilled by Nancy Mace right after that about what he thought the UFO's pilots were trying to convey. And he said, WTF, you have nuclear weapons? He said, paraphrasing those appalled pacifist aliens. That's what I think they meant. Of course, that's just my opinion. 1967.
Nice. I love that. This just kind of confirms the Men in Black sort of guys that come and say you didn't see anything.
Oh yeah,
nothing happened.
Well, there's more coming about that for sure. So again, I could go on and on about this congressional hearing. We're gonna kind of just push through that part, but I highly recommend, if you're interested in this, go to Nancy Mace's website. Go read this 12-page report that was from a whistleblower via Michael Schellenberger. Very interesting stuff.
Real quick, the
Yes.
Men in Black films are a psyop to distract from Men in Black
100%.
being real. Yes or no?
Yes. 1,000% yes. A 3 on the scale of -3 to 3. So I want to talk a little bit about the aftermath, okay? So these congressional hearings happened on the 13th, published one day after the lawmakers called for greater government transparency during that hearing. The Pentagon's review was published that detailed 757 cases of UAP encounters that were reported to U.S. authorities between May 1st, 2023 and June 1st, 2024. So that's in a year. 757 encounters reported to U.S. authorities to the Pentagon. That includes 272 reports that occurred before that time period but were not previously reported. And reporting witnesses included commercial and military pilots as well as ground-based observers. Okay, so we're not just talking about civilians here. The majority of these incidents occurred in airspace, but 49 took place at altitudes estimated to be at least 62 miles above Earth's surface, which is considered space.
Oh.
No injuries or crashes were reported in any of the incidents, but a commercial flight crew reported one near miss with a cylindrical object while flying over the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of New York. The incident is still under investigation. Interesting stuff,
Wow.
right? Yeah. In 3 other cases, military air crews reported being followed or shadowed by unidentified aircraft, but investigators found no evidence linking the activity to a foreign power. During the reporting period, 81 reports originated from military operating areas, and witnesses who provided visual descriptions reported unidentified lights or round, spherical, or orb objects. Other reports included a witness who reported a jellyfish UAP with flashing lights. WTF, indeed.
Classic.
So then I saw this post that was on X,
Okay.
Twitter.
No, we say Twitter.
Okay, yeah, Twitter.
We say Twitter in this family.
That's fair. So this person was posting, I spoke to Captain Bigelow, who is a military pilot, I believe.
Captain Bigelow, male gigolo.
I should have seen this coming. U.S. Air Force gigolo. They got photos they received
UAP gigolo.
Can that be our next sticker, please?
That's my nickname for next season. It's just UAP gigolo.
I love it. So they said that they had just spoke to this captain and they got photos they had received from their colleagues at the Manchester airport. No metadata could be recovered from these photos, which is interesting. But there is a series of photos and then there is a video. Okay, so we're going to go through these together.
Okay.
So here is the photo. That is what we're looking at.
Okay.
What is that?
It appears to be one of those floating things that tells you where leeches are in the
I don't even. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
It tells you where leeches are?
Yeah.
Ugh.
This is the floating thing
Oh,
in
no.
the pond, in the lake. This is where the leeches are. Don't go there.
Well, so this is, again, at a Manchester airport. This is like this kind of metallic looking blue ball that you can tell is sort of slightly hovering, right? It's like not along the ground. There's like a shadow
Bobbing.
underneath it. So this is a really good quality photo, okay? Because the age-old thing is like, well, why don't we have better footage of them if they're real? And it's like, nah, all that footage exists now.
'Cause
Like
they
that
have
is
a
not
force
valid.
field that
So the next photos are not so great, but then I want to show you this. These are, they're for an airport. Check us
Oh
out.
my God.
Shoop, goes up in the sky.
No. Let me see it again. Run it back. I got to see it.
Shoop.
Oh.
Now it's floating
Yes.
1,000 feet up. Maybe not 1,000.
So the leeches
It
can
just
fly.
yeeted it into space. What the heck, though, right? Okay, this is pretty freaky stuff.
This is no balloon.
This is no balloon, my friend. So I just wanted to show you this. I thought it was very interesting as far as like
what do they
hard
say? What do they
evidence
say
goes.
it is?
They just say it's an orb.
So
That's
who
all they
knows?
say.
Orbs up.
So then I saw this tweet from a person named Jon Stewart, not that one. This is, he posted this on November 15th. So this is 2 days after the hearing. He said, tomorrow the findings from my team's 5-year investigation into the United States government's unacknowledged special access program named Project Aquarius will be officially released to the public. The report includes detailed information such as code names, facility locations, satellite photos, security clearance levels, and the identity of the project leader in the year 1991. Also included will be the names and dates of the official Alien Retention Facilities, or ARF, from 1947 to 2024. A formal copy of the report will also be hand-delivered to members of Congress this December. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
Freaky, right? So to keep moving, next I want to talk about something that we talked about last episode, Oops, All Aliens. Drones over military bases continue. Okay. So remember we had talked about these drones and they said, oh, this guy from China was a spy and they, blamed it on that guy.
Remember Chinese spy balloon too from 2 years ago?
Absolutely. Absolutely remember it. So according to BBC.com, drone incursions have been reported at 3 U.S. air bases around in Britain between the 20th and the 22nd of November. Okay. So this is 2 weeks ago. And the aircraft has continued to reappear. In one of the villages that was situated near the RAF Mildenhall, residents reported brightly lit aerial vehicles hovering above their houses and over the base itself. So one guy said he had seen objects above his house in Beck Row. He described seeing a triangle-shaped aerial vehicle, which was a dark gray color, in one of 2 evening sightings of drones he had made in the past week. He said they were really noisy, and they had lights, probably nosy also. They looked official, to be honest. If they're a threat, why aren't they being shut down? Why let them fly over if they're sinister? It has since emerged that a drone came within 273 yards of the HMS Queen Elizabeth, which is the Royal Navy's flagship aircraft carrier, as it entered the port of Hamburg on the 22nd of November as well. RAF Fairford and Gloucester. There's a lot of syllables in there. But I think it's... I'm not sure. Where US B-52 bombers had recently deployed also reported a recent sighting. British troops have been deployed to assist the US efforts to track down these responsible. Another person who is the stepdaughter of an RAF pilot said she had seen 2 drones in the past week in that same area of Beck Row. She described an orange ball in the sky at night and increased activity at the US airbase. In the last 10 days, I have seen military jeeps around the village. There has been a much higher police presence than usual, military and UK police. She described what she believed was a drone being intercepted, though the BBC has not been able to verify this. She said, there was a big orange light in the sky and all of a sudden it was gone. I heard people shouting, wow. Another person who lives in Beck Row described seeing lots of activity. He said, I've seen the drones 3 or 4 times. He described the flying objects being lit up and hovering over the airbase, although he said he could not detect a noise. While he said the objects were at large, all you see is light, but it's a big, big light. So this is all very interesting. A bunch of residents on Beck Row that the BBC spoke to have described increased military activity in the area. And the BBC has also seen evidence that agents of the U.S. Air Force Office of Special Investigations have been in that area and have spoken to local people about what they've seen. So Men in Black indeed, right? Okay, so this guy is a Suffolk-based military aviation enthusiast who said that he thinks that the U.S. Air Force pilots have reverted to a more secure communication method in the past few days. They were using radio, and now they're using an encrypted data link, to speak to the ground. Very interesting stuff.
The people use the radio, like they use radio at Target to talk about who's stealing and stuff. And the people in the parking lot can't be using the same thing.
So just to summarize, there's been a tightening of security. There's increased military presence around these bases. There's been sightings by both civilians and military personnel happening daily. Okay.
Daily.
So this presently. So this next thing is not new, but I did want to show you this.
He's a Las Vegas man who claims he can summon UFOs on command. Pretty wild. So we sent Action News reporter Mike Delastrito to get the real story.
So you got to go to the
But
Action
what he found
News.
shocked everyone and could leave you wondering, are UFOs real?
We met up with Prophet Yahweh, seer of Yahweh, at Doolittle Park off Lake Mead. We picked the day, we picked the time, and we picked the location.
Everyone's going to think you're absolutely nuts. Well, I thought I was absolutely nuts.
Until he says he saw UFOs. Over the years, 1,500 of them.
If we make it 1,501 today, what do you think? Let's try it.
He says the voice in his head told him to go public
Hell
now.
yeah.
So we took him up on his offer.
Always listen
and we
to the
scanned
voice in your
skies.
head.
Nothing but a few clouds. When the prophet started praying for a sighting, I wasn't exactly convinced.
I pray, oh Yahweh, that you send a sighting so that they know that I am not mentally ill. I am not a false prophet.
Yeah.
Like those who seek to kill me say I am.
I see something straight up. Oh,
Brother, look at it. There it is.
you can barely see it, a white speck. Then another sighting.
Dude.
I got it.
This dude's summoning UFOs with his
Photojournalist
mind.
Jonathan Hawkins locks in on it. Let's take a closer look here. It's an orange
He
sphere
literally
that
did it
appeared
for
out of
news
nowhere.
cameras.
I called a boss with an unexpected change in my story.
I can see it clear as day. And in fact, it's bright. I can see this. It's moving pretty fast. It's gone to Nellis Air Force Base.
He said it's going to the Air Force Base.
This is exactly like the thing that's going around right now with the guy that can summon the tornadoes.
Oh, I haven't heard about this. No, I have not. Ooh.
See if we can pull that up.
Well, okay, we'll have to get back to that one. We still got some stuff to get through.
I'll text it to you.
Okay. But so this next thing I had to talk about, we had to talk about our Dark Kenny. We had to get into the K-hole, into the K-anon. So those of you probably already know, considering he's holding the top 6 spots on the top Billboard right now. Kendrick Lamar put out a new record, GNX. And let me tell you,
he's on top.
It's fire.
Yeah, it is.
It's super
but
good.
I've heard the youth saying it's mid.
Who said that?
The youth.
Who youths? I'll fight them myself.
the Gen Z and younger.
So the reason I bring this up is because I found this really interesting post that was actually in the Alien subreddit, not the Kendrick Lamar ones.
Perfect. I cannot wait to hear what you're
So as a Kendrick Lamar fan, this is the writer is saying this. The Redditor's name is Scroobers. Scroober says, as a Kendrick Lamar fan, we are often found guilty of reaching or reading too far into his lyrics. But given the current state of UAP related affairs, I couldn't help but notice the lyrics on Hey Now from GNX. Starting to see spaceships on Rosecrans. I seen the aliens hold hands. They want to see me do my dance. I let them watch me do my dance. Rosecrans is Rosicrucianism, which we have talked about many times. It came up in the episode. Remember, they said, I think the guy who made those crazy structures in Georgia. His name was like Joseph Rosecrans or something like that, because it's like a reference to Rosicrucianism. We could go deep into that hole, but we're not going to. The next song in the album is titled Reincarnation, where he says, I did past life regression last year and it fucked me up. Reincarnation on this earth for 100 plus.
That's what he just says.
Oh, yeah.
That's a straight up lyric.
Yeah. Body after body, lesson after lesson. Let's take it back to Michigan in 1947. He then details several experiences supposedly recovered from those regressions in the song, which I recommend you listen to. Buddha and Buddhism and reincarnation are recurring themes all over the album. And in the past, I think we've talked about this maybe on a radio show back in the day, Kendrick even spoke about seeing UAP as a child. Howard Stern interview from 2017, Kendrick Lamar said that at 6 years old, he saw a UFO, describing it as multiple flashes or darts moving across the sky while in Compton. He recounted the event as surreal and mentioned that his mother, present at the time, still doesn't believe him. When asked about alien abduction, he speculated humorously that he probably was abducted and that that may have been the source of his creative energy as a rapper.
Oh, I need you to send me this Reddit thread.
Isn't it dope?
Forward it to me.
I will.
And I will be up late. Reading this.
Yeah. So
and this will go perfectly. We can expand upon it further when we do the pop culture conspiracy.
Oh yeah.
And whenever we do it.
Spoiler alert. So while there may be no smoking gun here, I now feel fairly confident. This is again Gruber saying this, that Kendrick is a believer and maybe even an experiencer.
Oh yeah, I didn't need to hear that.
Cool stuff, right? So in conclusion, I had one last little bit I wanted to give you. So this is from the conclusion of that hearing that happened. Okay, this is what they said at the end. The official disclosure of the existence of non-human intelligences and their presences on Earth is a pivotal moment in human history. The nature of this information is of such incomparable relevance to the public good that it demands to be shared. Some may object and say that disclosure at this time poses too many risks. To them, it must be said that we will never be able to predict how individuals, families, communities, and nations will react to revelations of such magnitude. Moving forward, we must guard against the lure of authoritarian solutions justified by expediency and appeals to national security. The good in humanity will always triumph through time, and it is in moments of crisis that our capacities for achieving the extraordinary are discovered. Be not afraid.
Sweet.
Pretty cool, right?
That's kind of like how I feel.
Yeah, I have to agree. Yeah, so I guess that's all I got for today, but this has been heavily on my mind, it's just something that keeps coming up. I feel like it's everywhere right now. It's interesting that it's happening right as like these talks about nuclear threat are getting more prevalent. There's a lot of crazy things happening with like the Ukraine war conflict and of course America's politics. It's just like an interesting timing, right?
Is the singular hope for Trump presidency round 2 that he will finally reveal the alien documents?
There were definitely some people in those threads that think that he may be the one.
He said he's been saying he's going to do it. Is he unhinged enough this time? Is Elon Musk and his Doge whatever thing that when that got announced that it was a thing and the acronym is Doge, I threw my phone across the room. I just couldn't believe how stupid, what a stupid fucking world we are living in, that's real.
I know.
That it's Doge has become the memes have become harmful aspects of our lives.
I absolutely
it's just
agree.
It's too far. We've gone too far with it.
I agree.
Do you know about the mistake? The concept of the mistake?
I don't know.
I don't know if we have enough time to talk about this right now.
Probably not. Give
Real
me
quick,
the elevator pitch.
The gist of the mistake is that every 15,000 years...
I was just reading about this.
Yeah. Every 15,000 years, we get to the point where we're at right now in this nuclear war.
Yes. I was like, this sounds so familiar. I literally was just reading this. Yeah. We're probably going through that cycle right now. Absolutely. I mean, the yugas in Hinduism are basically about that. They're about these cycles that humanity will continue to go through. And we're entering the Kali Yuga, they say. And the Kali Yuga is the lowest on the rungs of all the yugas. So I don't want to be a fearmonger, but we might just be at the beginning of
just look
watching
at,
that mistake.
Historical societies and how long they went for and how like it's really not that long that like the United States has been around. Like we're due for a downfall.
Well, and we're coming back into the I'm sorry, I'm not an astrology girly that heavy, but we're coming back into the Pluto alignment that Pluto was in when the upheaval happened in France, when the French Revolution happened.
See, we should have never excluded Pluto.
Yeah, Pluto's coming back to slap you bitches.
Pluto said, "Hey, you want to get me out of there? Do you think I'm not a planet?"
Well, I feel like we have so much news to catch up on that we'll have to talk about some other time. For instance, Mothman being sighted on a condo rooftop in Chicago, a smuggler who had a bunch of tarantulas he smuggled like 300 tarantulas in his coat from Peru. Did you hear about that one?
Hey, that should be allowed.
Fair enough.
If you can do that, if you can get them in there, you're all good.
I would absolutely lose my mind if I found out I was on a flight with someone smuggling 300
tarantulas. How'd they find it? I'm just kidding. They probably were like, that guy's clearly got 300 tarantulas on him.
Yeah, they said that his jacket was squirming.
Yeah.
That's how they figured it out.
And they had tarantulas crawling all over him, and they were falling out everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's probably screaming.
Also, apparently they have maybe identified who D.B. Cooper was, which we'll, again, have to get into
also,
that
according to a lady that I talked to at Home Depot the other day, they found Noah's Ark. So...
Really? Yeah. I'm putting that one on the list.
This lady
for next
was talking to us and telling us, she was like, "Oh, yeah, telling us about her grandkids," and then we're like, "All right, we gotta go," and then she parted with, "Did you see they found Noah's Ark? They got to do some testing, but then they'll really know." And she left after that.
I would have been like, "Can I interview you for my podcast?"
So many more questions. I couldn't even.
That's how you should leave them.
You know when you like see a lady, like an older lady, and you're like, I've seen that lady 1,000 times.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
her.
Like one of those.
That one.
Yep.
Very cool. Well, you've been listening to Dizzy Spell on the We Own This Town podcast network. Dizzy Spell is recorded live at We Own This Town studios in Nashville, Tennessee. Special thanks to our editor and producer Michael Eads and our podcast network We Own This Town for hosting us. Thank you to Victoria Ocampo for our logo and design. Thank you to Jay Childers for the sound bed music you hear all throughout our episodes. You can check out more of his work at jchilders.bandcamp.com. Follow us on social media at Dizzy Spell World, and please leave us a review on your preferred streaming source, but only if it's 5 stars.
5 Noah's Arks.
5 DB Coopers.
5
or none.
5 Mothmans on the roof.
5 vials of the substance or not.
Ooh, there you go. That's it. Every 5 days.
All right, beware the glitter guardians, Earthlings, and goodbye, Earthlings.
The glitter? You're talking about Gary Glitter?
No, the guardians of the glitter, you know?
All right, see you later.
Bye.